The local media is made up of the local television and radio stations along with newspaper and magazine companies. The Dallas-Fort Worth market is the fifth largest media market in the United States. In its early years, local television was made up of mostly locally produced programming. Then eventually recorded shows found their way on the airwaves of these stations. Networks began filling up most of the time slots, while local programming is currently mostly concentrated around the news product. Although the networks have been in existence for a long amount of time, these local affiliates at one point served as a major source for production crews and on-air personalities to begin their television and broadcasting careers. In the first episode of the DFW Showcase, we visited the Sumpinell Show, WFAA-TV Channel 8, the local ABC affiliate in DFW's local bandstand program. WFAA-TV is known for its many locally produced programs. Now I am honored to introduce Jacob Young as the next co-host of the DFW Showcase. We both sat down in an interview and had a discussion about local programming on television and what it means to us and our viewpoints on it. Since you began working with the film production project that we've been working on, would you say that you've gotten to experience things and find out about things that you normally wouldn't think about unless you were in the business?
I think I definitely learned a lot. Yes, it's such an interesting field, and I'm really glad that I got to experience it.
So when you're working on putting a film together, would you say that after watching it put together, you could notice and tell what the entire cast and crew contributed to the project?
Yes, definitely. Every person on set has a distinct role, and it's very important that each person does what they're supposed to do to make it come together in a nice way.
Right. So would you say you've enjoyed getting to see other people be a part of this project, and would you feel that the local Dallas-Fort Worth television station should feature more time slots for other types of programming other than just the local newscast?
I would have to agree that there's a lot of different things that come together, to make it happen.
Right. So why would you say that they don't really have the time slot openings that they had at least 30 years ago?
Because times are changing.
Right. So, from your experience as a high school student, would you say that high school age teenagers probably don't notice as much what's put out on the local media aspect because they don't really contribute any type of production that would grab their attention?
Well, I think that they, the TV shows are the way that they are now because that's what the times have kind of evolved into.
Of course.
And that's what's entertaining now.
And wouldn't you say that out of everything that is produced, out of any television series that is produced, you could kind of tell the current culture of the time period of its making?
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, there's every new generation item, whether it be TV show or car or clothes, has a time signature.
Do you feel that if a teenager saw an issue or topic that related to something in their current generation, that their attention would be more captured?
think our generation has a lot shorter attention span than the past, so they make TV shows that'll keep people entertained.
Right. So do you feel that a local teenage-orientated broadcast would be successful in today's market, similar to something else was in the 1960s?
Yeah, but it definitely have a more like relevant flair.
Of course. And that's what I mean by teenage-orientated, if it discussed any type of issues that most high school-age teenagers have these days.
Well then, yeah, I'd like to see how that would work out.
And as a whole, would you think that the Dallas-Fort Worth audience would be more interested in seeing a local television film that was produced here, or a series that was produced here, just due to the fact that it takes place in the city or area that they reside in?
I mean, the people that have pride in their city would definitely like to see something being produced in their city become successful and do well. So yeah.
Right. And in general, I mean, television is almost an art. Wouldn't you agree? It needs all of the elements together to make the production successful, no matter what genre the show is.
Well, of course. Yeah.
Local media is made up of the local television, radio, and newspaper outlets in the market. Dallas-Fort Worth, of course, is one of the top 5 markets in the United States. At one time, local television stations had up to 3 local programmings that aired at the same time. WFAA-TV featured Somepin' Else, Mr. Peppermint, and Dialing for Dollars that all aired on the same week on the same station during the 1960s. So what has happened to local programming? In the present day, local programming is mostly the local newscasts. Today, station WFAA-TV airs the popular Good Morning Texas show, a daily magazine and lifestyle program that does take a look at many highlights and events happening in our community. Yes, there still are a few local programs other than the local newscasts on the air. But will there ever be up to 3 programs during the same week that are all locally produced and broadcasted? In the current day, most of the programming is made up of network or syndicated programs. Syndicated programs are television shows that don't exactly have a network that they air over. They air over various stations in markets that will broadcast the program. At one time, the FCC required that local television stations air a certain amount of local programs. These time slots were always opened, and during this period in history, television stations were out looking for various genres and programs. In the present day, the FCC has dropped the amount of required local programs. Many news programs do count for this time.